How's it going, everyone? Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live. My name is Rick Ramirez, also known as Rick's 2 Cents, along with my fellow co-host Steve from Steve Makes Everything.
Howdy, y'all.
Hello, hello. Roger's not going to be able to join us today. Unfortunately, his wife has a procedure that needs to be done. She has a collapsed lung. So I would appreciate if everyone keeps Roger's wife in their thoughts and prayers and said a speedy recovery for her. Let's see. We've got some questions already. Yeah. Scary times. Brooke Martin said, "Hey guys, being new to 3D printing, I was wondering."
He wants to know what a good weighting medium for us. So he wants to 3D print a sculpture and make it feel heavy, right?
Right.
Sand, silica sand. Go to a welding shop and get or a sandblasting shop and get some sandblasting sand, or go to the beach if you live close.
Oh, good idea. Have you personally done that before?
Yeah. Well, I don't print sculptures all that often, but if you want to put weight in something on a 3D print, you print up to a point. Like if you make the base hollow, you print up to a point, pause it, fill it with sand, and then continue.
Oh.
And I mean, that'll be the best way to do it, probably. I mean, you could put like plaster of Paris or something in there, but it's not as heavy.
Right. That's cool. Oh, good idea. Learned something new today. Hey, speaking of that, of 3D printers, let me, what do you think of, or have you heard of? I sent it to myself just so I would have it. It's supposedly like the Bamboos, the Cobra S1 combo. They're calling it the Bamboo Killer.
Yeah, Cobra is who's the company? Not Anycubic.
I got a link.
Well, so I mean, without seeing it, honestly, anybody who comes out with a new 3D printer better be calling it the Bamboo Killer, right?
Yeah, it basically, and it's not the manufacturer; it's Anycube.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They're not calling it that. I've been seeing people who are doing the reviews calling it that.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's been a couple of 3D printers come out recently that are on par with a Bamboo from a print quality perspective. I mean, 3D printers are as good as they're going to get, right? So they're like diode lasers. Although, having said that, I got approached. So Acmer has a new laser coming out, and I have kind of sketchy details, but its work area is 1 inch shy of 5 feet by 8'2".
Whoa!
It's got a 120 watt diode laser and IR as well, and CNC.
Did you see Adam?
They asked me if I wanted one, and I said I would love one of these, but I don't have enough room in my shop to put this thing.
Right.
I'd have to put it outside.
Crazy. Yeah, I think Adam said is coming out with a 100 watt laser. And speaking of, we've been talking about it lately. It's on Kickstarter. 120 watt water cooled laser.
Yeah, this one's water cooled.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if a 120 watt diode laser is useful or not. I mean, I guess it is. I mean, you still can cut clear acrylic with it.
Yeah, that's what you were saying the other day, right? That was funny. I think you said that last week. That was funny, actually.
Yeah. Well, I have the same thing with fiber lasers, right? Like you get these, like, I mean, I've been playing with this Titan this week because I have a project coming up, and it's a 100 watt laser that can literally cut through a piece of stainless steel, but it can't touch a piece of paper. So it's just like lasers are weird, right? So
So what are your thoughts on it? How are you liking it?
The Titan?
Yeah.
It's got a lot of power. I haven't had time to do a calibration on it. I need to do like a proper bed calibration, and I also need to do some set up the timing on it. It's firing. It looks like it's firing a little early and stopping a little late or something when you're moving the beam. So it's all calibration, but I just haven't had time.
Looks like a question for Jim Hamilton. I saw your post about the settings on Omni One on Facebook. Poster slate, did you use hatch, and what angle did you use? So I think people are referring to our Facebook group.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. I don't know if Jim's on tonight. He hasn't said hi, but I talked to him a bit about this, and he was using he was hatching it. I don't know what angle he was at though.
Yeah, crazy.
I mean,
we talk about that all the time. Though,
yeah,
someone shared settings.
Yeah, so Jim has basically given up on coasters for the same reason I've given up on them, because well, he's realized to get the print quality on slate that he wants, he's looking at like a 4-minute engrave on a slate coaster, and I mean, you could maybe get that down to 3, but still, that's 3 minutes, right? That's a long time.
Yeah.
So last message I got from him, he said, "That's it. Coasters are off my list." So
I think that they're definitely something that you can make money to be made, but I don't think that you quit your day job, right? Or I don't think it's going to be. It's not going to be your primary money maker.
Yeah, and I mean, I make them as throw-ins sometimes,
right?
But I mean, if you're going to, if you're going to buy your groceries with coaster money, you got to make a ton of these things,
right?
And that's I mean, you could do it, but it's hard work. Like, you're working 20 hours a day to try and make a living out of those things.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like I said, it's sometimes it's nice to be able to package deal things, because it seems like they're getting a better value. But definitely, if your return on your investment, anything, you got, what is your time worth, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the thing, right? You have to charge. You might have a company, but you have to charge your company your labor rate.
Yeah.
On a project, and I was encouraged, though. I know Jim was upset that he couldn't do coasters, but I was encouraged because everything he discovered the hard way is the same way I discovered it, and we now have the same opinion of trying to make money with coasters.
You said no, X-nay on the coaster, nay.
Yeah.
I don't know why this camera loves looking at my ceiling. I'm sure everyone doesn't want to see some sheet insulation at the ceiling for some reason. It keeps.
I know. I'm seeing some video. Well, some delay on your video.
Is it?
Yeah. Your audio seems to be responsive, but your video is delayed by I don't know, a second or something.
Let me close out something in the back. I just restarted my computer. Is that any better?
Not really.
What is going on? So this connection is unstable. If you're using Wi-Fi, try plugging in. If anyone's got any questions, let us know.
Yeah. So I will show you something I am making on the Titan. So I had to do a little research this week. So I was doing something for a customer, and he wanted to do a shallow engrave. He wants to create things that are like, I guess they're memorial coins.
Okay.
And he wants to make these things. So I did he doesn't want it deep, so he doesn't want, like, to make it look like a coin. He just wants an image on a coin. And I sent him the first picture, was literally just blast on stainless, blast the image, and it looked okay, and he was happy with it. But then I did a little bit of tinkering around, and I think this one's actually on brass. Hang on. Yeah, good enough. Let me show you this one. I might actually do a video on this, because it was a little bit of, there's some trickery involved to make this work. So in the end, this is what I ended up with. Now this is really hard to do on a fiber laser.
Mm. Yeah, so it's like
It's almost like a grayscale.
etching. Yeah, exactly. Did you
Yeah,
use?
well, it is. It's right on the surface, right? It's like you would engrave something on a piece of wood with a diode laser. So this is much better. Like after doing a whole bunch of research, I've never seen anybody do this on stainless steel with a fiber laser.
Did you use I forget the name of that website. There's like a website you can do all the grayscale, crazy stuff with photos. Did you use that?
No. This is literally a PNG.
Okay, just
like there's no like it's not like a depth map or anything.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I've had good luck. I can't remember the website off the top of my head, but I've had good luck using a website to do that.
Yeah. Anyway, there was a bit of well, I have plates of stainless steel with like this picture getting progressively better. So I'll probably do a video on it when I get a free moment. Hopefully that happens.
Nice one. Yeah, so Thursday, tomorrow, I get the last of the parts for the CNC.
Cool.
That's basically the cable management what I was really waiting on because I just didn't want all that stuff hanging out.
Yeah.
So
have you made anything yet?
No, because I didn't flatten it yet because I was waiting for those cable. I was waiting for the cable management to hold all the cables. So that comes tomorrow. So I'm excited.
Cool.
So yeah, so I think I said last week I was kind of looking on Etsy. I got like maybe 25 different files. I was kind of like, this might be a cool first time thing. So I haven't honestly selected yet what I think I'm gonna make, but I definitely got some good options, I should say. So I'm excited.
Cool. Yeah, you'll have fun.
Yeah.
I saw you asking about the what are those blocks called? Brick blocks? No. The train rails.
Oh yeah, the train rails. I thought it was cool. I thought that was cool. I thought that'd be something maybe Ricky would think was cool.
Yeah, get yourself some nice, select type maple and you can make those.
I thought I had enough scraps I could probably make something with that,
Yeah. Now, realistically, do you want to make them? I don't know.
Would I make them to sell? No. We're back to the coaster conversation.
Yeah. I don't even know if I'd make them just for little Ricky. I mean, just buy them. They're cheap.
I know, but it'd be cool to know that he, helped me make them and,
well, sure.
Fun moment.
50 years from now, when he gives them to his kids, he can say, your granddaddy made these.
Exactly.
Because they will last forever. That's for sure.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah.
Where are we on the list?
Someone said old Japanese movie effect. So I guess I'm
talking about the coin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know what these coins are for. There's going to be something on the other side too, but it was just to make one of those. It was a challenge. I spent a lot of time. I spent all of Sunday playing with this to get it right.
It says people are complaining my
yeah, there's something funky with your computer. Unfortunately, you can't reboot now, right?
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I think I can because it won't end the live. As long as I don't hit end. Because that one time I actually closed it out and forgot to end the live and the live was still going.
Okay. Well, maybe you should do that.
All right, I'll be right back, guys.
And I'll answer some questions here.
Okay, sounds good.
Where are we? Oh, Jim's here. Hey, Jim. And hey, Tim, did you get your Eufy-Make E1 yet? You said it was coming soon, right? Does anybody have them yet? I guess because they said they were going to start shipping them in July. Hey, ATV. Oh, sorry, Jim. I thought you were doing Hatch. I thought you told me you were doing Hatch. Well, the hatch isn't going to make it any faster. It's still going to, it'll make it twice as long, but it'll come out nicer. Where are we? Well, I'm fine. Rick will be hopefully fine when he comes back. He was delayed 3 seconds every time he said something. So, Tim says, Jim, are these still what you used? 1041. I actually gave him some different settings, Tim. They're close to that though. Oh yes, no, I changed the interval. The 0.3 here or 0.03 here is what I gave Jim. That's really just to make it faster, right? Welcome to the sea. Yeah. Rick is in a black hole of learning now with CNCs. He sent me a message the other day asking. I know he wanted to ask me something, but I wasn't at my computer, so hopefully he picks it up quick. Where are we? Oh, Alan. Alan says his CNC is arriving on Friday. When the ship hit the port, it was at UPS the next day. So UPS was supposed to send me a new laser, a new comm marker laser, and I got the material package yesterday, which was also when the laser was supposed to arrive. But then I got a message from UPS that said, we kind of sent your laser somewhere else, and it's going to be delayed a day while we get it back. Oh, you look better already. Oh, you just paused. Hello, Rick.
Am I better?
Your video is frozen. Oh, there you go. You're back. Speak to me,
Hello,
Goose.
hello.
Yeah, you're better. Okay, we're good. Surprise us out. Yeah. The companies are trying to take care of the tariffs for U.S. customers. We don't have tariffs here, but we have the occasional duty charge. Hey, Jose. So you don't have your Eufy yet. Got the address survey. Yeah, hopefully you like this. I mean, I use it all the time. It's definitely a lot of fun. I also want to do a video on the foil and flexible ink. I've got all the B-roll. I just haven't had time to do the video. My internet dropped the other day too. And I've got so many IoT devices that when things fire up, they don't all fire up at the same time.
Yep.
And things don't get an IP address or don't get the proper one, and it's just a nightmare. It takes about a day and a half to get everything working again.
Do you use the external monitor display for your CNC?
No.
You just use the monitor that's there. You don't use the IP address and just bring it up on another monitor.
No. The only thing I use my IP address for is I use their mobile file transfer thing.
Okay.
And oh, you're delayed again. And then just transfer files over and go over and push the run button on the machine.
I don't know what is going on with my Wi-Fi here.
Well, here's the problem. You need to get fiber internet.
I have fiber.
Do you? Is it like 1 kilobyte?
It's 1 gig. I don't know what's going on. It says on the symbol in the top left corner where it says my Wi-Fi, it says it's unstable. But when I look at my Wi-Fi on the Mac, it says it's full bars.
Well, it could be full strength, but it could be terrible Wi-Fi. You are dropping. You're dropping on a regular basis.
No, I had to drop. I realized that somehow. Hold on. It somehow my laptop jumped on my phone. Let me go out and go back in. Right back. Sorry.
ATV says he saw my Ortour R2 video. I noticed they called it the R2. Remind me of R2D2. Yeah, it's a nice little laser. It's not. I wouldn't say if you're in a business, it's the right laser to have. It's a little small and it's definitely targeted at beginners, but I don't mind it. The cutting is amazing on it for a 20-watt laser. Yeah, maybe they should. Maybe the next model is the D2. Hey, Kevin. I am doing well. Although July and now apparently August are going to be just crazy for video creation. The problem with companies is they say, we'll send you something, and by the time you actually get it, it's a month late, but it now coincides with a whole bunch of other things, and then they all say, I want it by next Tuesday. So I've been buried a bit for the last little while. Yeah, Rick is frozen in time. Feel free to shoot some questions. Jim says his current settings for white on slate are, yeah. I mean, these are reasonable. And if you add hatching here, it's just going to take twice as long. So 100? Is that 100, Jim, or a typo? Should be 1,000, right? 40.1.0075. Boy, that's going to take a long time. Joking aside, he likes. Thanks. I like my videos too, but I like people who watch my videos more. So, feel free to leave comments, and when you see something I do that's really dumb, just feel free to nag me about it, because I'm trying to make videos better too. Jeez, hopefully we didn't lose Rick. Need to move to Chattanooga. Look up Gig City. Do people have, I mean, I guess most people in the US will have fiber now, but I don't know about other places. Like I have 2 1.5 gig fibers running into my house, so it's I don't generally have any problems, but my network did drop the other day, yesterday I think it was, which doesn't happen often. Does anybody have thoughts about the new Rolly Galvanomatic coming out? Not really. I mean, everybody who has a Rolly seems to love them. So the challenge with Galvo lasers is they're not really good for cutting, because the beam is always at some kind of a cockeyed angle. Now we lost Rick. And we have no more questions, so feel free to put something in the comments there. Kevin says, are you going to review the 120 watt diode? So no, I won't say no, but the problem is these things tend to be in big boxes. Like the Acmer one is in a almost 5 foot by 8 foot workspace, which is huge. I'd have to move something out of my shop to get that thing set up. It's liquid cooled. It's got a CNC option as well, so it's pretty much an all-in-one device. But I mean, do I need a 120 watt diode laser? I'm not sure. Hey, from Sydney. Hey, Empire. I would imagine your weather is, well, you're in the middle of winter now, I guess, which in Sydney probably means it's 29 instead of 30 Celsius. But hey, Clock. Back in the woods and have, yeah, full gigabit. It's, yeah, I mean, there's no excuse to have slow network anymore. I mean, most providers have good backbones, and fiber. I run fiber in my house. I have OC2 or OC3 all over my house. And so I have, between computers, I have 40 to 50 gigabits per second, which is good because my file server is right here. In my shop, I record a bunch of video and then I upload it right away. So it's almost like it's almost as fast as a hard drive. I think we definitely lost Rick. So again, feel free to ask questions. I've been talking to, so ComMarker has a new laser coming out, the one I'm supposed to have. I was supposed to get it yesterday. It's going to be a fun laser to play with. I think it's definitely going to have some capabilities that most lasers won't have. You're back. How about you join the chat here? There we are.
All right. Hopefully I'm good now.
Yeah, you're better so far.
It says full bar, so we'll see.
There you go. We were just dissing your internet connection there. Yeah, so Jim's got his 100. So 100 speed gives him white, 1,000 gives him gray. Check. Oh, Rick froze again. I
know.
We got you holding a can of beer, drinking it.
What the heck?
I'm not sure, man.
I don't know.
You got some network problems. Maybe you got the same problems Jim is having here with his network is dropping. Jim, if 1,000 is giving you gray, just change the interval from. Well, no, you're already at 0.075. If you go lower than that, it's just going to get really slow. So
I dropped it to 720. Is that making any difference?
No.
It's still still being funky.
Did you actually reboot your computer?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, then it's your network.
Yeah, I have that Ryobi. It's like Robi. It's like $1,700. Every single floor has its own Wi-Fi.
Oh, with like a mesh network?
Yes.
Yeah, I had a mesh network for a while, and it just annoyed me because the repeater on the mesh is only as good as the signal. It can't get any better than the signal it's receiving, right?
Right. Yeah, but yeah. So if my internet's shoddy, sorry guys, I don't know what's going on today.
You'll just be 3 seconds behind us. That's all.
You need to come to Australia. I'll show you slow internet. You're still on dial-up.
What's your internet speed in Australia? Well, I guess it depends where you live, right? If you're in the city, you're in Sydney, so it should be reasonable. But yeah. I guess in Australia, every person you want to talk to or every company you want to talk to is across a bunch of water, so you probably got all kinds of latency.
Yeah.
Tim's building something for pet memorials outside. Oh, this is the E1, I guess. Oh no, he's doing slate.
So I had good luck when I wanted to like turn white. Is I clear it with matte, and it doesn't look cleared. It still looks the same, but it makes the engraving pop. Maybe you should try something like that.
Spray it, you mean? So yeah. You spray it with like a matte matte clear coat?
Yep.
Yeah, some people do. I've done that. It works well, especially if you want to put it outside, because slate is pretty porous, so it'll hold water. And then if you live in a place where it gets cold in the winter, like say Illinois, it'll freeze and break the slate.
Yeah. Yeah, he said he uses matte spray.
Yeah,
so I tried 5 or 6 different kinds, and I think the biggest difference is how long it takes to dry. I didn't notice a difference in like one looked drastically better than the other. It was how soon could I touch it? You know?
Yeah, although if you know you're going to do some, you can spray a bunch of them.
Yeah, but unfortunately, coasters seem like something somebody wants right away. Right?
Oh, of course.
It's like last minute. It's a last minute gift. Like, oh, you know what? I know Rick can do that. You know?
Of course.
Yeah. So, yeah. So you got any special projects going on, Steve?
Other than these coins, I got a couple things going, but I've just been crazy busy trying to catch up with reviews. I've got like 6, well, they're not all reviews, but I got about 6 videos in my queue that have to all be done, of course, like tomorrow. But realistically, I'm kind of booked out to the end of August right now. So
nice.
At least my video plan goes out that far.
Nice. Yeah, I'm super excited about the CNC, man. Just seems like it's taken so long to get here, and now it's here. It's like little things just waiting there.
Now it's there, and you're taking your sweet time to get it running.
Yeah, I was just concerned about damaging the cables.
Yeah.
So did you see that they actually make a true 4x8 now? They just announced it in Vegas yesterday.
I didn't. Again, like I don't have room for that in my shop. I don't have. I can, yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know sign language, so.
Yeah.
So again, I don't have room in my shop for something that big. I don't have room. Well, now I have room. I could have got a 4x4 instead of a 36 by 32, whatever the next size down is. But it's like 4x8. No, I mean that's just like, what am I going to do with that?
Yeah, it's a full sheet of plywood. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I get it. I mean, when I did this door for a customer, I had to do it in 2 pieces and glue it all together. But it would be nice to have it sometimes, but that was like the biggest thing I've ever done on a CNC. So, and I haven't done anything that big since.
Yeah, I saw it. It looked like the bottom moved, like it moved towards you. And it could have just been the way the video was shot, but it looked like it moved. And I was like, what? Yeah.
No, I'll have to have a look.
Yeah, Vegas last night, they started posting all kinds of videos. But, we'll see. Tim said, Tim, are you getting white?
It's almost kind of a racist question there, but
alrighty then.
I don't know, Jim. Are you putting any kind of clear coat on your tiles, on your slate, like a clear coat? Because that will help, but at the end of the day, once it cuts through that, you're down to slate anyway. So
yeah,
it's not going to solve the time problem either. It's just going to take time to do it.
Yeah, but there's definitely a big difference in the settings, though. That's why I ran that test on mine.
Yeah. Clack answers the question that it's basically a bed slinger on a 4x4.
Yeah,
which means you still need, basically you still need 8 feet to put the thing in.
Yeah, so I ran this and I just use that as my point of reference. From like a light gray, it's almost like a gold.
Yeah, you can get some color on slate too.
Yeah, even like beveled, like almost like you're crystallizing like the numbers.
Yeah, your resolution's bad, so it's hard to tell what that is.
Yeah, I
You,
dropped my resolution because I thought it would help since my internet speed sucks right
yeah, you could be holding up a waffle there for all I can tell.
now. Yeah, but
Yeah, so
yeah,
this new Onefinity is a bed slinger. Interesting.
yeah. Yeah, so I was right. That's what I'm saying. I just saw clips of shorts. I didn't get a chance to watch a whole video, but I saw a couple of shorts they posted, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you look like a Minecraft character.
Maybe we'll go viral. That's famous right now.
Oh, I can't believe they made a movie out of Minecraft.
I know. Look what
But
I said.
I'm sure there's a bunch of people who grew up playing Minecraft that are now adults, and
They said that the song that he sings in that movie is the first like short clip that ever made like the top 5 hits or something. The la 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 la. My son sings it constantly.
Did you is it out? Is it released yet?
Oh, it's been out for a
Oh,
month.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you go see it? You take little Ricky and go see it?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Oh, there you
go.
So maybe it rubbed off.
Jim said, I did after, but it made it worse for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, wasting my time, but I love white on slate. No, I agree. I was going nuts for it too.
It looks nice when it's white.
Yeah. So especially because how Steve, you did that with the coin. I did that with someone's picture to do an inlay on a memorial flower box, and that took me a little while to get those settings dialed in too.
Yeah, that's what makes it interesting, right? A little experimentation.
Yeah.
That my frustration is I did one that was very white, and I sent the settings to Jim, and this is why people don't, especially with things like UV and fiber lasers, they don't generally share settings. It's not because they're trying to protect them, it's because they probably won't work anyway. So Jim took my settings and he couldn't get the same results, which just kills me, right? Like
right.
you want to like I don't have any kind of secrecy with settings, and so here they are, but then they didn't work the same way, so frustrating.
Yeah, for sure.
Smooth slate before smooth slate. Oh, yeah, you can get it sanded smooth, I guess. Part of the process.
Steve, you'll like this one. One of the guys for the 2.5 Men moving company, he's big into hockey. So I 220 sanded slate coasters to super smooth, and he had me write "fuck it," and the guy was hitting like a hockey puck, but instead of the hockey puck, it said "fuck it," like coming at words. He's one of the owners. He liked it, so I guess he's big into hockey. But it was
surprised he didn't get you to put it right on a hockey puck.
No, he was giving them away to certain people.
Oh.
So yeah, I like Rust-Oleum.
Yeah, that's what I generally use.
Yep.
I had, even for color, I have several cans of Krylon paint, and I just hate the stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's probably $2 to $3 more a can than any other brand, but it's for a reason.
Yeah.
Plus, you get cheap paint, and you always seem like there's still paint in it, and they don't put enough aerosol, right? So what the hell? At least for Rust-Oleum, like you use every drop. If you're shaking that can, you're gonna get every drop out of it.
Yeah. Nothing but a marble left when you're done.
Yeah. Tim said, Matt. Yes.
Yeah.
I've tried I forget what brand it is. The can is black and gold. Anyways, it looked. I think it would last longer, but it took like 2 days to dry, and I was like,
wow.
Yeah,
slate?
It still felt.
Slate is like a sponge.
I know, and I even stuck it in the longer B1 enclosure. I turned on the Adamstrack Craft, the vacuum, like the air purifier, and stuck in the longer B1 enclosure, and then blew it outside and had it just like, you know, to kind of like
Yeah, I've
little
done
mini.
that. Every once in a while, if I'm in a rush, if I want to push it a bit, I'll put it inside my big laser and just turn it on, and the fan runs. It sucks the air out, dries it quick.
Yeah, so that's what I ended up doing. Since the Tim before and after. Yeah. The problem is too is that it's a rock, right? So even if you dial in your settings, it doesn't mean 6 coasters later it's off.
Well, yeah, it's not. I mean, slate's reasonably predictable. It's not like if you go to somebody asked me to do a video on engraving rocks, and the problem is you pick up 6 rocks and you pick some settings and you'll get either no result sometimes, depending on the material, what the rock is made out of, or it'll bubble up. Like I've had things where I engrave it and it actually is raised because it's melted the rock and boiled it. And you get this black boiled thing. It looks cool, but
I've done that with slate. I made it turn like gold. And
it raised. You can do that with slate.
Yeah, gold and it like raised. So it's like, that was crazy.
Yeah, but it's just like if you're doing river rock, because a lot of people engrave stuff on river rocks, right? And it's just there's just no predicting the settings. You have to kind of look at it and go, okay, I have settings for a black river rock or a white river rock. But even that, I've taken 2 that look virtually identical, and you engrave one, it works fantastic, and you engrave the other one, and it just is terrible. It just doesn't work. So that one goes back to the beach.
Since we were talking about memorial slate engravings, I saw it yesterday for the first time. And I think it's becoming more and more common that you'll see manufacturers start promoting this stuff, but I don't think a lot of people have them still as those 3D UV engravers.
Yeah.
I saw them doing like a 6 or 7 inch thick slate, basically a headstone, and engrave it down like 3/4 of an inch. And I was like, whoa, that is insane. Like in fast. But it was water cooled. It's a fiber, the UV laser, but it's not air cooled. It's water cooled.
Yeah, it's probably an industrial laser though.
Yeah, but it wasn't outrageous expensive though. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, so this is what I'm supposed to be getting tomorrow is a UV laser that can do inner engraving.
Nice.
And I'm quite anxious to see it.
Nice. I have one coming as well.
Because like, I mean, you've seen probably the souvenirs. They always have like the glass cube with something in it. Those are made typically with industrial lasers. Until recently, those things were like $50,000-$60,000.
Right.
And now you can do that with a $5,000, $4,000 UV laser.
Yep.
And it actually looks nicer because the resolution of a UV laser is so much better than these things that they use to make these cubes normally. And so those guys could all be out of business pretty soon. And somebody mentioned to me that they had one and they paid like $100 for it.
For the cube, right?
Just a cube with something 3D in it. And it's like, holy cow.
Yeah, I shared a video and people were saying that they've seen them for sale in malls. Yeah. And a little cube is about $100. Yeah, so people are
saying. Holy cow. Because the actual glass cube is about $3-4. Well, I mean, you can buy them. AliExpress has them, right? You can buy a container load of them if you want.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good markup.
Yeah.
But the only thing is the software, right?
Quick. Well, yeah. So, I mean, this is not something you can do with LightBurn.
Right.
But most companies, as you can tell, most companies are starting to kind of deviate away from LightBurn, which I kind of predicted, but I was hoping LightBurn would get it together and prevent that from happening. But like even on this 120 watt Acmer laser coming out, that thing has its own software too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think once you get to the higher ends, there might be like some proprietary stuff or settings that they're kind of tweaking to get the results they want.
Well, yeah, and I mean, certainly there's like, I mean, you look at XCS in the Xtool world, it has capabilities that highlight things that their laser can do that it won't do if you run it in LightBurn, right?
Right.
And this is the challenge LightBurn's up against. Like, I mean, we had the question a couple of weeks ago whether the diode laser market is dying, right? And it's not dying, but it's mature, which means the growth of LightBurn is gonna start to slow down.
Then we see 120-watt diode laser come out.
Yeah, but it's not running LightBurn.
Yeah. I don't know what it is running. I didn't.
Well, the Sculpt Fun might be. I don't know, because the reason the Acmer one doesn't is because it's also got a CNC.
Oh, okay.
I don't know when they're going to deliver it. I'm probably in trouble just for mentioning it, but
So can you say what brand the UV is or no? Not yet.
yeah, it's Com Marker.
Oh, okay. The 3D one is Com Marker?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Cool.
I mean, any UV laser, you can do this, right? But like if you take an Omni 1 and you take a thick piece of glass, you can, the focus is super fine on a UV laser, right? So if you say it's, 200 millimeters to my base, if I go up 5 millimeters in a block of glass, then you can engrave a layer 5 millimeters up in the glass. And then you can go up another 5 millimeters and put something else in. What you can't do is you can't create a 3D shape unless you're prepared to do a lot of movement of 0.01 millimeter, 0.001 millimeters or something, right? So that's what the software does, is it handles that third dimension. And I'm sure they just stole that control technology from 3D printers.
Yeah. I saw recently a video of a dog that was engraved into it, and it was just insane. Like,
yeah, like I said, the beam is so much smaller on a UV laser that those internal engravings look so much better than the ones you went to the mall to get, right? The ones like you could actually see the individual dots in the commercial ones.
yeah,
These things are like,
yeah, that's different. It doesn't look frosted. It looks like 3-dimensional, almost like a hologram.
It's almost like a hologram.
Right. Yeah, it's cool, especially when you put a light under it. But yeah.
Yeah, well, so I've seen lighted bases. So you put your cube on this little cube base.
Yeah.
And it lights up the cube. It looks very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So think about it. If you could buy that base on Amazon for $2, and you can buy the glass for $1, you're $3 in, and you can sell it for $100. Plus, you charge an artwork fee.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the downside is you might, like, tomorrow you might be able to sell one for $100, but give it a few months, because you see these 3D lasers are coming out from everybody, right?
Yeah, the only thing is, like, look what we posted on the poll, though. We posted on our Facebook group. I posted it on YouTube. The number one laser everyone had was a diode. Second was a CO2. Then third fiber, and almost none. Well, I say almost none because when you look at the graph, right, comparison, who owns and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, how many people in the live actually own a UV laser? It's still, I guess from a manufacturer perspective, they got a lot of sales they can make, but who has them yet?
Well, so some of it is just time in market, right? Like UV lasers haven't been available to us mere mortals for very long, right? So so they're just kind of up and coming. Diode lasers are kind of mature now, so it's a pretty flat market. And but UV lasers were the last ones to arrive in the home space. I mean, I know from doing the Omni 1 review I did, a pile of people used my affiliate link there, like many. And thank you for that. But they're out there now.
Nice. Alexandra Knife Sharpening, a laser engraving, said, I have one. My question to you is, what do you use a UV laser for? What are you engraving? Just curious. You're up, Steve.
So Clack says his Acmer contact says it is LightBurn compatible for sure on the laser side, but it also has a CNC, and I guess that's what their software does. You can probably CNC and laser engrave in the same job or something.
They just contacted me 2 days ago to ask me. They gave me like 4 different options, different lasers to review. Want me to do review their lasers, then approve me for an affiliate.
Acmer
See what
did.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like the P3 is a nice laser. Yeah, P3. This new one they're coming out with, I mean, it looks fantastic if you've got the room, but
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a limited market just because of the size. Like most people who have even a workshop, it's some corner in their basement as opposed to like a warehouse, right? And
Right.
to run one of these things, you need space. This thing is big.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, they approved me this morning for the affiliate through ShareLink or Share whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I haven't decided which one of the 4 I'll review yet. We'll see.
Yeah. So Steven says he's lucky to have a diode laser. I think people are too hard on diode lasers. I mean, I think I still there are things I use a diode laser for that other lasers don't work well on, right? So even when I was playing with this engraving on stainless steel with the fiber laser, I was having so much trouble. I thought I'll just take this R2. It's sitting on my workbench, and I'll try it with that. And even like that's the best second choice is a diode laser for doing engraving on stainless steel. I mean, if you got an IR module, so much the better. But it's stuff you really can't do on a CO2 laser without a bunch of expensive spray, and fiber lasers probably out of most people's price range. So
I see a lot more manufacturers now going down the line of multi-laser, like
yeah.
It's a
everybody
IR and a diode. It's a fiber and a CO2.
Yeah. Everybody had the same good idea at the same time. It seems.
I just think,
or they're either all the same company, or they all have spies in each other's companies. I'm not sure which.
Yeah.
But because like especially fiber and diode, right? I mean, you had Xtool came out with it. Gweiki is coming out with one. The G3. There's somebody else. The Axel laser guys are trying to do something with a combo fiber diode laser. Like it's just everybody all at once, right? It's like oh, there goes a bandwagon, let's jump on, right?
I see the new bandwagon that's just coming out now is the enclosed laser for tumblers. I saw this week, I think 3 or 4 different manufacturers coming out with that.
Yeah, I've been approached a couple times, but I don't make that many tumblers, so it's not really my thing.
Right. That might be like a trade show trophy, right? Throw that on.
Yeah, I mean, if you do tumblers, hey, it makes sense, right?
Right.
You can just put a tumbler in there and push the go button, and you get something done. You don't have to think about it too much. Yeah, I forget who it was pestering me about using one, and they asked me 3 or 4 times, and I kept saying no, it's not my thing. But I can see people who would want to use it for sure.
Yeah, I just think that anytime, and not necessarily just in lasers, but just in my life experiences, so to speak, anytime anything's been a multi-tool, it's never been the best tool, right? Because you buy something for a specific reason, and if you get a multi-laser, my assumptions would be it wouldn't be the best fiber laser in the world. It wouldn't be the best diode laser in the world. It's somewhere in the middle between the two.
Yeah, like you can put a diode laser on your Onefinity. Yeah. I mean, the question is why, right? Like, I mean, unless you're engraving some huge thing, I don't get it. For one thing, when it's doing that, it's not being a CNC, which means it's probably costing you money, right? So,
right.
Because with any CNC, if it's not running, you're losing money. Is basically how it goes, right? So,
Alexandra said I have done wood urns, knives, and glass images on wood are amazing. He's talking about the UV laser.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a little bit of a learning curve to get a UV laser working on glass properly, but again, it's mostly around the focus, right? Your focus needs to be dead on if you want to hit the surface, or because sometimes with a UV laser, if you're engraving, I had some glass coasters and I engraved something on them, and half of it was on the front surface, like the
Went
pattern.
through?
The image was on the front surface, but all the text was on the back surface. It looked cool. Like it was 3D, but it wasn't my intent.
Did you play it off like, yeah, this is cool, it came up with us
I
idea?
meant to do this, of course.
Very cool.
No.
Empire
I
Laser
was annoyed actually when it happened, but it
said
did look. It did.
I
Look
think
cool.
it's the price of the UV to purchase. Yes.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? They're not cheap, and I don't see them getting any cheaper.
So I see like the whole idea we keep saying like lasers are the gateway drug, right? And lasers are like the gateway to CNCs. And so the CNC industry, and you correct me if I'm wrong, so it doesn't seem as crowded as a laser because it's a more expensive hurdle to get into, right? So I would say it's going to be the same exact kind of concept with the UV. So at least for the time being, you're going to have less competition.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a CNC, a CNC, I'll put it in quotes. You can get a 3018 for a couple $100, but it's going to be crap. So before you start getting into even a decent like home hobby type CNC, you're probably looking at $1,000 minimum. And then, if you want to do anything serious, you're somewhere between there and what you paid for yours.
The thing that I laugh about is like, even the $500, let's say the 2 trees, or the $500 were entry level ones, right? Everything you need with that CNC is more than $500. By the time you buy the software, by the time you buy your dust collector, by the time you buy some bits, you're over the cost of the price of the CNC.
Yeah. So what's happening in that entry market? You can use something like G-Sender or Universal G-Code Sender to move the code to your machine. But a lot of those small companies like SaneSmart or Genmitsu just signed some kind of a packaging deal with Easel, I think it was. So they're starting to provide the software in the package, right?
That's smart.
Yeah, it's a smart way to go. Yeah. So it's not like you buy your $1,000 CNC and then you got to spend $1,500 to buy a Spire, right?
Right.
Like you don't have to do that. But I mean, the reality is a UV laser is, for argument's sake, a business laser, right? You have a business if you're buying one of those. It's not really the kind of thing that you're just going to get because, I want to get into lasers.
Yeah, not an entry level job.
If you have a hobby or a small shop that just for yourself, a diode laser's the king there.
Unless you got some cash you want to burn, you want to go buy some cool toys, and hey, no one's hating, man.
Well, sure. You
got a big wall.
As far as shop equipment goes, I've always had more money than brains, right? So
nobody. I said nobody. Glass and slate mostly, then metal business cards with the UV laser.
Yeah. I mean, UV lasers definitely will handle all of those really well. So a fiber laser, for example, won't do glass, right? Not to any reasonable level. So UV is the way to go. Yeah,
Empire Laser said I have a UV laser as well. I use it for glass, shot glasses for weddings. Yeah, yes. See, and that's cool. She found a niche. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But again, a business, right?
Yes.
It's not like, I'm getting married, so I'm going to make 5 or 6 shot glasses for people, right? It's not like that. It's not.
But anything, I think, when it comes to memorial and when it comes to weddings, people tend to go a little deeper in their pockets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I've done some stuff for weddings.
Steve loves our shirts.
I figured I am a maker in training. I'll be a maker in training until I stop trying to make things. So
they only like our shirts because Roger's not on the live. Otherwise, every comment about Roger.
we'd be embarrassed by
chop liver to his shirt.
some Hawaiian shirt for sure.
With bananas on it.
Jim says, "Did I try the Omni 1 for stainless steel?" Yeah, it works well for stainless steel.
There you go, Steve.
And Tim says, "Speaking of glass, are you allowed to talk about the new toy you have coming?" Well, I just basically did. Yeah, it's a new com marker UV laser. There's also, like, if you want to see these things, there's another company called Mr. Carve. I was talking to them, and then they kind of went dark. Thought I was going to get one of their lasers, but they have a new, I think it's an M7 Pro, which is essentially the same kind of laser. It'll do external, internal UV engraving.
Mr.
I don't know what the price of any of these things is yet, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mr. Carve they're in Kickstarter now. They've been doing a lot of advertising on Facebook.
It's funny that we're saying more and more companies are just flat out using Kickstart. That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll post a link to the Mr. Carve one just so you can kind of see the inner engraving. It definitely is something cool.
It says world's first 3-in-1 UV laser powerhouse, 3D relief inner and surface engraving. That's the one.
Yeah,
it's cool.
So this one says it's about $3,800. Well, that's the Kickstarter pledge amount, so it's going to be more than that when it ships. But yeah, the deluxe is almost $4,200 on Kickstarter. But I don't know what kind of power these things have. It's probably a 10 watt.
I was going to say it seems like between 10 watts kind of the entry. I've seen 5, but it seems like the most part 10 is kind of the standard. And when you go like 20 and higher, they're just like, whoa. You better have some money.
Yeah, so the basic Omni 1 is 5 watts, which in a UV laser is plenty, but they also have a 10 watt now.
Yeah, but the 20, I think anything over a 10, I haven't seen anything over a 10 that's not water cooled.
See, this one is this one is only 5 watt. This Mr. Carve.
Yeah,
and which makes sense. I mean, it's not the power of the laser that allows it to do that 3D engraving. It's the ability to move the Z-axis up and down, right? Well, it's up specifically.
Yeah, so the one I'm getting sent, it's 5,000. Hold on. So it's 5,400 for the 5 watt air cooled, and it's 6,100 for the 5 watt water cooled, 9,100 for the 10 watt water cooled, and 12,000 for the 15 watt.
All of a sudden, you're talking about the price of a new car, right? Like,
yeah, I mean it's crazy. Yeah, so.
Yeah, well, some customer would have to come to me with just like a massive fistful of money and say, I got to have something done, and it can only be done with this kind of laser. Then I would buy one. But.
Good evening from Hoffman Estates, Illinois. Hello, neighbor. Craig said, I'm too late to see Rick's first CNC project. No,
tomorrow, you got about another 2 weeks.
So tomorrow, my cable management shows up, and I'm going to do my flattening, and then you'll start seeing all my videos pour in. And I was actually going to post on our Facebook group 5 projects and say, as a noob, what do you think my best success level is going to be for one of these? And give a vote. And whether I fail miserably or do really well, I'm going to post it anyways, right? Because that's the point of learning.
Yeah. Well, the first, don't be disappointed if the very first thing is not exciting or it came off while you were trying to engrave. Well, your tendency is always to go faster, like your feed rate's going to be too high because you go, oh, I could get this done in 3 seconds. No, it's actually a 20-minute job, right?
Right.
You'll either break a bit, and then we want to see the video on that too. you're breaking your first bit is kind of a rite of passage for CNC,
Okay, fair enough.
especially if it's like a 1/4 inch end mill. It's a good meaty piece of tool bit, and you can snap those things off. Then you've arrived.
I saw on Etsy that they had this attachment that you can actually hook a GoPro or Insta360 camera directly to the front of the
Yeah.
window.
There's a flat, like 4 holes there you can mount stuff in.
I was like, oh, that's pretty wild.
I think that would make you motion sick.
Yeah, I don't know.
Andrew says there may be less innovation in the CNC world. It spins a bit, maybe different millings for the bit. Yeah, I think simplifying a CNC down to it spins a bit might be a little much, but I mean, CNC's got really, they had the advantage of being able to look over the wall to industry and see what they were doing for industrial CNCs, and then figure out how to make it cheap enough for the home market. So whereas things like 3D printers, the industry and the home market evolved at the same time, right? So there wasn't much, everything was new, whereas CNCs have been around a long time.
Have you seen Ryan's bits that he sells?
Like Jenny bits?
Yeah. So they're
Jenny,
basically so some of his bits are like his bits, and some of his bits looks like they're someone else's bits, but they put a coating on it.
Yeah.
I don't know what that. I could be lying if I said
zirconium something or other.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But the blue ones are.
Yeah. But the one thing that I liked about it, that when you buy any of his bits, he has a tool, library tool.
Yeah.
And it's specific per like 4 different CNCs. So I thought it was cool because he actually has them.
Yeah. So most bit companies do that, right? Like if you go to Amana, you can download their entire tool database for Vectric, and you can just load it in.
Yeah, I thought that was
cool. And then you can modify it to your heart's content after that. So a lot of them do that.
Yeah,
I mean, the Amazon guys tend not to, but
yeah, but I think it's cool. Even in, like you said, if you end up editing, it's at least gives you a good place to start. You'd have like some kind of bearing on where you should kind of be at.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, most of the time I'm turning bits at 16,000, unless it's like a big flattening bit or something. They tend to go slower, but 16 to 18,000, and you don't run them too fast, but you can run a 1/4 inch end mill pretty hard before anything bad will happen to it. Depends on what kind of wood it is too.
This is what I got for the flattening.
Yeah, you mentioned it. This thing was like $400 or something, though, right?
We'll see how well it works. Yeah,
it's a 1/2 inch chuck. Yeah, 1/2 inch shank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have some collets? You got a full set of collets?
Oh yeah, it came with 3 of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it came with 3 of them. So yeah, I thought the cool thing about it was each one of these blades you can flip 4 times.
Yeah, you can sharpen those too if you get a diamond file.
Well, to buy the blade, it's almost like this bit is outrageously expensive because they almost consider this a consumable, right? The blade itself. Yeah. Because they sell them like in big packs, and they weren't ridiculous. So it's like the first initial purchase was expensive, but then the refills were reasonable.
Yeah, you can buy just the blade part.
Right.
Put it
so,
on. Yeah.
So I said, all right.
I don't know. I run mine through it. I have it looks like a business card, but it's a diamond file. I have three of them, 3 different grits. And those things with the flat blades on them, you can sharpen those. It's like 3 rubs with a diamond file and a bit of solution, and they come out super sharp.
Nice. Good to know.
I'd love to find somebody who can sharpen end mills, because I got a box full of those things that are used and dull, and I'd love to sharpen some of them.
Post that in the group. See if anybody knows anybody.
Yeah, the problem is it's got to be local, otherwise it'll cost
shipping. Yeah,
the shipping would be as much as buying new bits.
Alexandra, knife sharpening. There you go, knife sharpening. That may be someone. They do a good job on soft silicone dog tags. I'm sure you're talking about the UV.
Yeah. Well, end mills are different, right? It's not like sharpening a knife blade because it's a spiral.
Yeah. There's some specialty to that, I'm sure.
Flex says, "Are we sure that Rick's CNC?" Yeah. Hey, this is like my real workshop back here.
Now look.
I actually had a green lawn back here a while ago because I'm doing my lawnmower video.
It's real.
Yeah, you can tilt it. Yeah, there you go.
It's real. Yeah. Well, no, it's real. Real expensive.
I'm gonna have to go down to Tim's shop sometime and have a look at everything I've apparently made him buy.
Sometimes we're not good friends to have. What can we say?
I could have an Omni one for you soon, Tim. Hey, there's Clayton. I was wondering where Clayton was. I haven't heard from you in a while, Clayton.
Aloha from Hawaii, everyone. Please smash that like button. Nice one.
Welcome back. It's been a while, man.
Yeah, for sure. That and Steve. I haven't seen Steve in a little bit, so some of our regulars are back tonight. Looks good to see you guys.
Steven says he needs to learn the metric system. Well, you got a good start. Presumably, you still have 10 fingers.
You know, the thing is that I can't even like wrap my head around it when like you tell me metric numbers, like, you know, 3 feet. I'm like, all right, you know, I just can't mentally picture it. It's like throws me so far off.
Yeah, I tend to. I mean, I and everybody but Americans, I guess, and some small country out in the middle of the Pacific, use the metric system. I use it specifically for my shop around CNCs, especially because it's precise.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, in inches you can go down into thou, but that's finer grain than you mostly need, right? So
it was a struggle for me when I first started using LightBurn. Everyone was talking in millimeters. I'm like, what? And that's just the way everyone spoke in laser terms, right?
So easy to remember. 50 millimeters is roughly 2 inches.
But it sounds more impressive, right?
50, yeah, it's bigger, bigger number.
Baby, I got all of 50 inches, 50 millimeters. You don't even know.
Yeah, I don't think that would impress anybody in Europe.
LTX said the 150 in the background. Are you making sawdust yet? No. This weekend I will make some videos for sure and post it.
It's the world's biggest paperweight right now.
Exactly.
Soon. I wait with anticipation. Clayton says he's been really busy moving to a 7-bedroom, 4-bathroom house in Hawaii. That's going to cost you millions, man.
I called you the other day because I did a firmware update and it lost my Y-axis. And I was like, what is going on?
On what? On the Onefinity?
Yeah. And they were telling me to do this, do that, and I just did it again and it went away. I was like, you know, I'm just gonna try it again.
If I had a complaint about the Onefinity, the Masso firmware updates are a little more challenging than they should be.
Yeah, I was like,
I did one recently that handles my tool changer, the rapid change tool changer, and when I installed it, all kinds of weird things happened. So I ended up going back to the previous version of firmware, and everything was fine. I thought, I'll update it later.
Yeah.
I have to get back to it though, because I still haven't updated to the one that supports my tool changer natively. So
they told me to download the backup copy, and that something screwy in the settings to download the backup copy before you did the firmware update, and it'll put the settings back.
Yeah.
So when I saved the backup copy, I didn't name it anything. I used default whatever it named it. And then when I went to load the default, it was asking for a different name. And I was like, I guess I could rename the file, but that's not what it named it. And they were just going down this rabbit hole. And I'm like, you know what? Before I do all this craziness, let me just try the firmware update again. I did the firmware up again, rebooted it, and it was like nothing. I was like, well, whatever. I did it again, and it worked. So
I'm sure at that point you were pretty terrified, given that it was your first firmware update and the thing stopped working.
I was like, there's no why. I just thought it would be something stupid in the settings. I thought they were just going to tell me, hey, moron, go here and click it. And I thought it was going to be like the end of the conversation. I didn't think, I was going to be 2 hours down the rabbit hole. Like, what?
Well, yeah, every 10-minute job in a workshop takes at least an hour. So,
well, they didn't want to talk to me. They wanted me to send them all these videos. I'm like, why do you need to talk to me? There's no why. Like, I sent you a picture.
Yeah,
I got a Z and an X. Where did Y go?
My general frustration with laser companies too. You send them a message and say, "Hey, this laser's not working," and they'll say, "Well, send me a video." Okay, so here's a laser not working. Right? 5 seconds of a laser doing nothing. Okay. Is that what you wanted to see?
I sent them a picture. I said, it says X and Z. Where did Y go? I just did the firm update. Did something go goof in the settings? I have to click something. Like, what do I got to do? We need a video. Why?
Yeah, I had some weird thing go on when I did this upgrade too, and I mean, so you have a newer, you have the newer Masso controller. It's a later revision than the one I have. Do you still put your firmware update in a folder on the USB stick? And
yes, yeah. See, look, my USB is actually still right there in the bottom.
Yeah, see, that controller is all enclosed. Mine is open.
See,
like
you see,
like I can see the board there, right?
See, and I added this. You see this? These 4 buttons.
Your switches, yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to use those for?
So one goes all the way to the back, out of my way.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, and then one is a home button, and then one is there's 4 different settings I set it to.
You said you ordered the little control with the winder on it.
That comes Thursday too.
Yeah.
So I got these that go on the ball screws, so that when it actually, oops, that's not the ball screw. When it moves, it cleans it at the same exact time. Every time it moves.
Yeah.
And then I got the it holds all the water cooled and all the hoses and everything. That comes on Thursday, and then so does they call it the that controller. They call it P something. It's called P something. I forget what it's called.
It's a Masso P3 or something.
I forget what they call it. But
Masso 3. Yeah, it's a Masso 3 anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great controller. Like,
yeah. So I just like the fact that you could just go click, 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 and like, you know what I mean? Instead of like, that's what I thought was cool about it. So
yeah, well, yeah, I like the little the knob on the because you can move in really small increments.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool.
Steven says Clayton's house is a hotel, it's not a house, it's a hotel.
LTX9 said, looks like 150 is moving away from Masso and showed off a new controller made by Redline.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, well.
I don't know how they I guess they don't keep the software straight, because it's different between the Masso and the Buildbotics controller, which is the earlier one.
That was the biggest problem I had with assembling it, Steve, was that they have like all these different versions of, like, even the card that said like, here's a QR scan, go here to put it together. I'm like, that's not how my CNC is. That's not like, so they have all this old content still out there. And I get it as a content creator. When you delete videos, you lose views, right?
Yeah.
So what's funny is like these manufacturers, even like really reputable manufacturers, they don't have subscribers and views. Like, they're very small channels. So if their top videos, which are installation videos, they delete, they
well,
lose 3/4.
The thing is, why don't they just create playlists for each variant of the machine, right?
That's what they should do, right? So I was so frustrated because I was jumping through hoops and kind of like, where is this, and then, so for instance, the dip switches in the installation instructions, it says dip switch 1 and 4. So when I told them like about the why, they're like, "Oh, did you double check your dip switches?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're sent to this." So they sent me a video, and I'm like, "Dude, this video is from 2022. The video that's on your YouTube channel that comes with this card is 2 months old. So you're telling me that the video you just put out 2 months ago is wrong, and the video you put out in 2022 is right for something that came out in 2025?" They're like, "Yeah." So delete the video if it's wrong, or put a text pop up on the screen. So weird.
Yeah, modify it and put an update on it.
Right.
Yeah, so this explains a lot. Clayton has 8 kids. That's why he needs a palace.
He needs
he doesn't have enough time to make things.
He needs a better hobby. You gotta stay off that woman. She's costing you a lot of money.
He needs surgery.
What do they say? Your pull-out game is weak.
Yeah. So LTX mentions the Molex plugs. Yeah, I've had Molex, one of the X-axis cables. I had to put a new plug on the end of it because it was a bit dodgy. But
so I'm gonna do a review on it. I haven't posted yet. I kind of did a sneak peek on the rollers, but the guy who I bought that stuff off of Etsy for free, I bought the cable management the cable management kit. And he sent me those bearing cleaners, and then he also sent me these covers that go over the ends to protect those cables.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it's not that they're like you bang them or anything. It's just, I don't know, the connection wasn't great.
Well, I was thinking too, like even on this table that I put this on, right? So I made sure that the back of the table hangs out 5 inches longer, because I thought if underneath I wanted to screw up any cables for some reason for cable management, I just thought ahead because I wasn't sure how the cables are going to be. But the other thing is that if I put something like a big slab, let's just say like for a tree slab, right, on there, and I was going to flatten it, and I accidentally pushed it, I could smash the cables into the wall. So I was actually going to cut a piece of 2x4 and just screw it down to my table. So for some reason, like I shift my whole thing by putting something real heavy, it won't move on my table.
But everything is screwed down, isn't it?
No, my CNC is screwed down to this.
The tabletop.
Yes, but then that tabletop is not screwed down to the table.
Oh.
There's nowhere to
screw it down. There's holes there, isn't there?
No.
Oh, I had holes in mine.
No.
On my original Onefinity.
Yeah, I don't.
Huh. Well, yeah, you need to put some blocks in the corners.
Yeah, so that I actually kick it back.
Your first CNC job should be to make some little L brackets, like out of 3/4 inch plywood, and just put them in the corners and screw them down.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's not overly complicated, but definitely something I need to do, because it could be a stupid mistake that would be my fault, and then I damage it.
Yeah, my most anticipated, we'll say, or most interesting aspect of your CNC is to hear what your wife says the first time you cut into a piece of wood in your basement. So make sure when you're down there and you hit that first one and she comes storming down the stairs to say, turn this damn thing off, you catch that on video. So that
do you remember the dub horrible video you made fun of? There may be a version 2 of that, right?
Yeah, where you dub a whole bunch of more polite words coming out of your wife's mouth.
So I had someone actually send me a request to review those, like black, I guess you put them in like a sound booth, like if you're like making music, whatever.
Yeah,
I was thinking about just shoving them up in the rafters, and then if I got them for free, because that stuff's actually really expensive. I've seen it.
You can get soundproof blankets, but like there's things you can do, but it's just going to be interesting to see what that first experience is.
Yeah, that's why I was definitely going to try the downloading the app on my phone to measure. This thing is making me motion sickness. Download the app on my phone to see if I can measure how loud it actually is. and then see as
Yeah.
I'm doing things,
Yeah.
like what how much of a difference did it actually make?
When you're if you're turning at maybe 16,000 RPM and you're hacking through a 3/4 inch piece of plywood or something, or a piece of pine, it's probably going to be 100 decibels anyway, if you're
Yeah.
reasonably close to it. Yeah, it's going to be loud. You won't hear the spindle. It'll be quiet. But the second you touch a piece of wood with a tool bit, it's going to be noisy.
Yeah, we're about to find out. Steven said 8 kids. Do you know what caused that?
Yeah,
a fine woman. That's what caused it.
as Clayton says, he's got no pull-out game.
Oh, man.
Oh, you're all bad people.
Happy hump day, everybody. Happy hump day, man. I've had a very stressful days last couple weeks. I I caught poison ivy and poison sumac really bad, to the point that it looked like someone threw like hot grease at me. It looked like I had burnt blisters all over my legs and on my fella. Yeah, my fella looked like I had elephantitis. That was not.
You gonna post pictures or anything?
Yeah, no. My boss is pretty much like a super mean guy. Like, he has no empathy for anyone in the world. And I went on a live with him, and I raised my arms up. Actually, you could see some scarring on this arm. And I said, oh man, I got poison ivy really bad. And he says, did you get burned? And I said, no, man, that's poison ivy and poison sumac. But man, that was brutal, man.
Well, as far as I know, I don't get poison ivy.
I've gotten it in the past and just gave me little red dots, and I was itchy and just don't scratch it. But I guess that poison sumac, it was like 3rd-degree burns.
So David here is asking a question that I want to ask people too. The latest version of LightBurn 2, is it running well now? I don't know if anybody else has upgraded to LightBurn 2, if they're having any problems.
You know, I just did the upgrade, but I haven't used it. I hurried up and did the upgrade, because the last time I did it, and I went to upgrade it, like, you're out of time. And I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, so it's time to upgrade your license.
Yeah.
I've seen it do a couple of weird things on Galvo lasers.
What'd it do?
So I was printing or engraving a gradient the other day when I was playing with this stainless steel stuff, and instead of going from light to dark, it did light for a little bit, and then there was this weird blue color in the middle. I guess it had annealed the metal or something, so it got really hot, and then it, for about a quarter of the scale, and then it went back to normal, progressing to black, and it was just so weird. And I restarted, and everything was fine.
Weird. Yeah, I haven't used it. I just downloaded it on both my computers. But
yeah,
I was thinking about taking an HP smart TV, like when they were like stupid expensive for no reason at all. Like, what were those? They were like $8,000 when they first came out. Now every TV is Android, and that's like $500. But I replaced that TV. I was thinking about putting it behind the CNC and then using that IP address to be able to just monitor the software. Just thought it'd be cool.
Yeah. Oh, Steven's a bundle of laughs today.
So for those who are just listening, Steven said, happy hump day. Well, crap, there's 9 kids.
Kid number 9.
They always joke that you can get a Mexican woman pregnant just by looking at her. That's funny.
Hey, Andrew.
Oh.
Yeah, they are at version 2.2. I had just installed 2. I delayed installing 2 because I knew people were having problems with it.
Okay. So.
And I had just installed it, and then literally within hours, there was a 2.2 update, 2.02.
Okay, so I guess I'll download that 2.2 before I decide to use it.
Yeah, it's, I don't know what it fixed. I mean, it obviously fixed something, or they wouldn't have wasted time on it. But yeah, it's, some people are having some problems, and I just wanted to find out if anybody else had seen anything weird in it.
The only thing that I would say that's cool is that if there were issues, it is what it is. But the fact that they immediately came out with an update, that says something.
Yeah, it says the guy who was supposed to test it was probably on vacation and they shipped it anyway.
You know, and I don't know if it's because we're influencers, but like the Adam Stack Craft, when I was trying to set up the camera inside LightBurn, when I just couldn't get it. It took me like 3 hours and I was fighting in it, but I was reading the directions and I posted a little short saying, "Why is this so difficult?" When I posted that video, like they contacted me like immediately. Like, "Hey Rick, what's wrong? Do you need help?" And I was like, "Oh wow, that's crazy." You know?
I do. That's one place where I wish they would make some improvements is the camera alignment, calibration mechanics are a bit clunky. I mean, you can do it; it works okay, but
because
it seems harder to me than it should be.
Yeah, because the directions basically say use the outer walls, right? Like here's go up to the top, go to the bottom, go to the go to this. And the reality is you're kind of doing it in the center.
Yeah,
a little to the little up, a little down, but you're not really going to the outskirts of anything, right?
Right.
Otherwise, it doesn't work. But that's not what the directions say, or the tutorials. You know.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping actually when they did. Well, there was two things. It would have been nice if for Galvo lasers they had proper testing for tiny, and then
what do you mean by that?
So, like Galvo lasers have an on, like you can delay between movement, you can delay from the time the software says start the laser to the time the laser actually starts. You can control that, and same at the stop end. But they don't have any actual testing for it. So you have to make your own tests, or like there's a few videos out there that'll do it. I've basically made some of my own stuff, but it would have been nice if it was built in. And there was something else I noticed that seemed to have disappeared in version 2, and I can't remember what it was, but it was like it was right there and now it's gone, and I don't know what it was. I can't remember. I'll remember the next time I see it. But that and camera calibration, I wish they would make better.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if they give better results to say like, hey, you actually do it this way. When I followed the directions they gave me that was not on the video, I did it within 2 minutes or less.
Yeah.
You know, but I was fighting for 3 hours before that trying to get it to work. But
yeah. I mean, I don't use a camera in LightBurn anyway, but it just seems to me I might be more tempted if it was easier to get consistent calibration.
Yeah. Jim said LB2 changed all my settings. What a mess.
Yeah, I've heard that one. I've heard some people are losing settings, but
so
there seems to be a few problems that they got to work out anyway.
So guys, next week, if you didn't see it, my post on Facebook, Ryan from Cutting It Close is actually be joining our live. If you don't know who that is, that's this guy right here. I'm sorry, this is probably not good.
No, it's terrible.
I lowered my resolution because I'm having internet issues, but it's posted.
We're also only getting about 1 frame every 2 seconds from you.
Sorry, guys. But yeah, so he's gonna be joining us. I think that's really cool. So
try your laptop camera.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think it's the camera, because in the top left corner, in StreamYard, it actually says connection is unstable if we're on Wi-Fi. So, but according to my Mac, it's actually saying that I'm 100% bars. I don't know.
So Andrew's asking here if the LightBurn camera, or if the X-Tool camera can work with LightBurn. That depends on the laser. Like if you have an S1, I'm trying to think of all the things that have a camera. Does the S1 have a camera? a lot of the newer generation of X tool lasers don't even work with LightBurn anymore.
That's crazy.
Well, it's just LightBurn's too limited for what they're doing, right? They have too many features that aren't supported in LightBurn.
Yeah, you kept kind of saying over and over and over again that you thought that was going to become more and more of a thing. So
yeah, well, you see it, right? Acmer for
yeah,
their
but
next
what I'm saying is
generation of
that
lasers, they have their own software now.
I'm just saying that you called it before it actually happened. That's
Well,
what I'm
I've been in software a long time. I see things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because when we kind of got started with home small business hobby lasers, everybody had their own software, and then LightBurn came along and commoditized everything and basically created an industry as a result. And now they're all going back to their own standalone software. So
I get the idea that a backward compliant third-party software, so that if someone is familiar with something, it's like what we say, like, you're not a DeWalt guy, a Milwaukee guy, a Ryobi guy. You're committed to the batteries, right? Like, once you start buying so many batteries in the tool, no matter how cool that new Milwaukee comes out, you're not going to buy it because you're so deep invested.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought of LightBurn as the same, right? Like, your comfort zone is LightBurn. Like, it doesn't matter what laser you install in LightBurn, you're comfortable with LightBurn. You're going to have new capabilities, but when you're starting from scratch from a whole new learning curve, even if you have experience with a laser, there is a learning curve. So I thought the advantage was that, yes, they have their own software. Yes, there's going to be some advantages that may not be supported in LightBurn. But if you're just that guy that, like, I have to use LightBurn, they were compliant. They were compatible.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of people who do all their design in LightBurn.
Yeah.
Right. And moving away from that means you starting over, right? I mean, I don't use LightBurn for design for anything more complicated than a square or something, right? If I just need to test something, I'll do all my design. If it's something precise, I'll use Fusion. Or FreeCAD. If it's something that's just an image, I'll use Kittle. And if I could use some new laser tool tomorrow and it wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, so I'm a big Adobe guy. So it'd be a lot of Illustrator and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you get an SVG out of it, right?
Right.
And as long as whatever software you go to can load SVGs, who cares?
Yeah. And again, it's your comfort zone. Where do you, your tools?
So, and I keep, I won't say warning, that's too strong a word, but I keep suggesting to people not to rely on the laser control software to do their designs. You put them in, you use a design tool for doing designs and use LightBurn or things like LightBurn to just control the laser.
But what I would say is this:
that technology changes.
That Adobe is really expensive, right? Like, I think I paid like $126 a month for like everything, right?
Yeah.
But so it's expensive. So someone starting off, LightBurn is cheap. So the amount of ability it gives you to not just use your laser, but create things, and the amount of tutorials and YouTube videos and support and the community, that it's not flawless by any means, but for the price, I don't think you can beat it.
Yeah, and I mean, kudos to the LightBurn guys for pricing it right.
Yeah.
Right. They could have easily charged more.
Yes.
And
way more.
They'd have people complain, but they'd still buy it because it solves a problem. But at the same time, Inkscape is free, and Inkscape will do all the design that you could do in LightBurn, and you can move it to any laser or even a CNC. You'll see now that you have a CNC where you take the same design and you move it from the laser to a CNC. Well, the software between those two is radically different, and you got to separate your design. You got to abstract that execution away from your design, right? So that you don't care what tool you're using. And this is like, don't get me wrong, I think LightBurn is great, but I'm not going to design it because I
No,
work with 5 different lasers that all use different software or CNC 3D printer even, right? And I don't want to have to redesign every time I switch tools.
I hear you. Yeah, because a vectorized image is a vectorized image, right? Versus a format of a certain software. I agree.
Yeah. So Stephen has a right complaint here about LightBurn cameras for open frame lasers. Yeah, they tend not to be very good. In part because they try to make the camera generic for a laser that's specific, right? And it just, they're flimsy and they don't work well. So
about 6 months ago, during our live, we asked, what is something you thought you had to have that now you think was a waste of money? And
camera, number one.
Camera was the number one, a rotary tool, and then a rotary table. And the camera, they said, because in an open frame laser, it just moves. And maybe it's even you causing the movement, but the point is it moves, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of wobbly on an arm, I get like the X tool or the Adamset craft, something that's physically stuck into the laser and it can't move. That may be a little better.
Yeah.
But there's still limitations on the camera, right?
It was one more reason to get away from open frame lasers, right?
Right.
The fact that they're inherently dangerous is one major reason. But if you wanted to use a camera, buy an enclosed laser with a camera in the lid.
Right. And I know
at least then it's consistent, right?
Clack's in the live. He was actually on that live, and he was like, "I love the camera. I use it all the time."
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Like I'm not going to tell somebody not to use a camera because you get whatever workflow works for you is the one to use,
right?
But I don't know. I mean, I use the camera in. One of the reasons I use the X-Tool P2S CO2 laser more than the one I built is because the camera in it is incredible. It's just seamlessly integrated. You lay down a piece of material and it tells you, hey, the workspace is not valid. Click here and it'll go and update it. And it's deadly accurate. I didn't have to align it. I don't have to think about it at all. It's just there. But for the most part, I don't know. I can't. The We Create Vision lasers came close as far as diode lasers for cameras because that camera is pretty good too. But in general, I don't use a camera. Hey, there's Roger.
Hey, how's it going, brother?
Oh, well, I'm surviving.
How's the wife doing?
It's not real good.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to go into details here, but it's not real good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be praying for her, man. Praying for your family. Hope everything works out well in the end.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, keep us posted.
Yeah. Stephen actually has my he purchased it from me, not has the Iker K1 Pro. So he's been making some interesting.
Oh, he's got a good diode laser then.
Yeah. He had the Monport CO2 laser, I think a 60 watt or 100 watt, but didn't have a diode laser. So now he has the Iker K1 Pro. Yeah, so he sent me a picture today. It's actually up and running. He was using it, so that's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like that laser. It was like, I think the big selling point on that laser was you can continue to use the step down, and people argue like, who cares? But I think that was one of their early approaches to the first people doing that, right?
You mean like the autofocus, you mean?
No, that you can step it down like a Z-axis, like a CNC as you're growing.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because it had autofocus, right?
Right. So they were like the first. I'm not saying there's not copycats. They were the first to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And some will say, who cares? But it was just a cool feature that was kind of.
It lets you get through thicker material, right? If you're cutting thick stuff. But I mean, honestly, I wouldn't probably use a diode laser for cutting something really thick. I'd use a table saw or a bandsaw. But
you mean you don't buy a laser to cut 2x4, Steve? Is what you're saying?
No.
I thought That's why you bought them for. That's what everyone makes these videos about. Like,
Not unless you want that half moon curve on it.
Yeah, and I mean, I found it kind of humorous that X tool, when they were talking about the F2, can cut through like a 1-inch piece of plywood, but it's gonna be a wedge, right? So it's like, yeah, it can do it. The 40-watt laser is certainly capable, but you're cutting at an angle for everything. So,
Stephen, if you really want to try a camera, if you're willing to pay the shipping, I'm pretty sure I have maybe 2 different cameras not even opened. I'll send you one of them if you want it. I don't care. I'm not using it. I thought I would use it. I don't even use the one in the Adam Stack Craft, and that's fixed.
Well, the only camera I use on a laser is the one that we create. Otherwise, I don't use cameras.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. Is that one? It's just anything that requires me to do something just seems wrong to me, right? Like the we create, you take it out of the box, the camera's more or less calibrated already. Same with like all the X tool, the modern X tool lasers. There's quite a few. Like this Ortour R2 had a nice camera in the lid. Again, I didn't calibrate it because I don't use cameras, but it looked pretty nice.
Yeah, but the first thing I've done with every laser I've ever owned, diode, is put a grid on a piece of MDF underneath it, right?
Yeah.
So it makes
I do that too. Every one of them.
To line it up. That's the first thing I do, right? So that's actually one of the first things I want to do with the CNC once I flatten it. I want to put that grid. Just makes it.
That's what I did.
Makes it easier in my own mind.
Well, one of the things I don't have like actual scale on it. I just have squares,
right?
Like lines,
right?
But one of the things it does for you is tells you when you're horizontal, right, or vertical, like when you're lined up properly. Because otherwise you're just slapping a piece of wood on there and it might be straight, it might not be straight.
Right. So worst comes to worst, using it as a square.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all I really use it for.
Right.
Because after that, you're going to set a 0 in the corner of your material and go from there, or in the center. I tend to do alignment to the center of the material quite often. Like to set 0 in the center.
Okay.
So is it just my computer, or did Rick's video freeze up?
Oh no, he's been freezing since he started tonight.
I'm having issues with my internet today. I don't know.
I know it's not cold in Chicago because it sure as hell ain't cold here.
Well, it could be the heat too, right?
No. Yeah, could you imagine if it was snowing, how hard it'd be to shovel snow in this heat?
Now he froze.
It would be pretty slushy for one thing. It'd be heavy.
Roger froze on me. Did he froze on you, Steve?
No, he's just not moving much.
Okay. No, I'm just sitting here in a chair.
He's sitting in a big comfy chair.
Yeah, it's like 99 degrees right now. So
yeah,
it's hot.
It's been more moderate here this week.
Like, more 70s, and more
high 70s, 80s now, but last week it was super hot.
So, sometimes I say to myself, I miss being in the field, and I think it's because I just miss the camaraderie at the brotherhood, working with the guys. And then I walk outside and it's 100 degrees, and I'm like, maybe not. Maybe I like sitting in this.
The linemen around here are getting a workout right now because they've had transformers blow, and just there's been spotty outages all over the place around here from the heat.
Yeah. So my current job is to modernize our power grid in the state of Illinois. So I'm trying to make that 99.8% always on time.
Yeah.
Always laugh. Yeah. Stephen said, Roger, wishing you and your family the best.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. So any upcoming projects, Roger? You know what's funny is I was going to mention really quick. I'm seeing in all the stores Halloween. Is that way too soon? Yes.
It's July.
Michael's, all like the Hobby Lobby type stores. Halloween is there.
Mind you, if you go to Costco, you'll be able to find Christmas stuff now.
No, they literally have signs that says Christmas in July.
Yeah, but just I don't think they're even thinking like a faux holiday. They just have Christmas stuff now. They start getting it in July and putting it out.
Yeah, I mean they have the Hobby Lobby and all those stores are like full blown Halloween right now, and I'm like, man, like really?
Wow.
Yeah. So my question to you guys is, and I'm already seeing on Facebook Marketplace, is anyone already starting to sell or attempting to sell Halloween stuff? I'm just curious.
I have not posted mine stuff on Etsy yet. I'll probably wait till sometime in August to do it. But I post stuff, Halloween stuff on Etsy every year. I do real well with it.
There you go.
Yeah. The shirt game challenge with Roger is joined.
Yeah, you can't see the whole thing. Really, there's the whole thing.
Yeah, there you go. People were complimenting Rick and I on our shirts, but it was only because you weren't here.
And we acknowledged and accepted that too.
yeah, no question, for sure.
That's funny though. But yeah. So I was telling Steve Roger that I did a firmware update on the CNC, and I had a little bit of a panic because I lost my Y-axis. So that was really the only kind of hiccup I had putting it together. Other than they gave me some additional brackets, maybe they threw them in, so to speak. But I can't use them with that table that I bought. So I don't know. So if anyone who wants some riser brackets for the Onefinity, let me know. I'll send them to you because I think they're like $50.
Wow.
If I can't use them, somebody wants them, let me know.
Yeah,
old Halloween stock, no tears.
That's true.
Yeah, I guess you'll know when those Halloween stores start opening, right? Once they're open, it's full-blown season. What's crazy is those stores are actually pretty big, right? But they're only open, 2 months out of the year? They just pop up out of nowhere?
Oh, yeah, we have those around here, too.
You have to make a pile of money in the time they're open to even bother making it worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, they got to be doing something, right? Because they're everywhere for 2 months, just random places, right? The Halloween store. Do you have the Halloween stores, Steve?
Yeah, they're around. It's just one more thing I don't pay that much attention to. But
we get a lot of the pop-up ones that show up in the shopping malls because there's so much open space in them now. There'll be these things pop up inside the malls.
Yeah, malls are dead, man. It's insane. Like, it's crazy. Every 6 store, there's a store. It's like, man, that's crazy. Yeah. So I said, Roger, I was going to post on our Facebook group 5 projects, what they think should be my first project, and whether it's the Walk of Shame or the Hall of Fame, I'm still going to post it and see how I do. So you could vote trying to make me have a difficult time, or you could vote trying to be easy on me. Either way, I don't care. But,
are you going to post the 5 projects?
Yes.
Oh, well, you can make them as easy as you want then.
No, I'm going to post the 5 projects and say, which one do you think I should do? I'll pick the 5.
Yeah, but
also, you think I should just leave it to people flat out?
Yeah, it could be easy. I sent you one last week. Make that puzzle piece cutting board.
Okay. I didn't download the duck, whatever Clack sent me. I got the email, but I didn't download whatever that duck or fish something he sent me. I think a fish or a duck something.
Was it an inlay? Inlay would be my second choice for a project.
Yeah, he said I think it was a fish or a duck. He said try this. Yeah, God, I didn't download the attachment. I just flagged his email so I don't delete it. But all right, I think that's fair, Steve. I'll let everyone decide. Throw me to the wolves or hold my hand and walk me across the street. Whatever one you want to do.
Well, my vote is for the puzzle piece thing.
Okay.
But you have to design it. I mean, I could just send you the design, but I'm not going to. That's too easy.
Oh man!
Well, a big part of this project is being able to build the design so that you can make it on a CNC, right?
Yeah.
When you can make that it's I don't know. You're probably not old enough to remember the series Kung Fu, where where you can snatch the pebble from my hand. It's time for you to go.
Oh, sure.
As the kid, Roger remembers, of course. But,
Oh, yeah.
Because he's the Kung Fu guy in training, right? And he's got this old guy teaching him Kung Fu, and he says, I want to go. And the old guy holds out his hand. He's got this little pebble, and he says, when you can snatch the pebble from my hand, it's time for you to go. And of course, it's years before you can do it.
Oh.
And this is, where you're at now.
Young Daniel's son, you shall learn.
No, with a Karate Kid catching the fly with the chopsticks.
Except that you'd get lucky the first time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I should start the video like doing like the moves.
Yeah, the crane. Yeah.
Clack said it's a 2D fish.
So Clack sent you a fairly easy thing here, right? It's a 2.5D fish. Surely you can make that.
Surely I can make that. Surely you must not be serious.
Don't call me Shirley.
There's a lot to learn here too, right? If he's just sent you the graphic, like it's an STL file or something, then there's some things to learn there too.
Yeah,
that actually may be harder than what I suggested you make.
Yeah.
The only thing hard about making that puzzle piece cutting board is getting the tolerances right so that it fits together without gaps.
No, it looked like it was on the money on your file. That's pretty cool.
It's a CRV file. He sent you the whole design right there. You don't even have to figure out how to get it into Vectric.
See, Clack did me a solid. You're trying to, you're trying to drag me under the coals there, Steve.
Well, I'll say that I made it with an old version of Vectric, and it's not compatible anymore.
I just need to set it for materials and bits.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice one.
Yeah, it's probably, well, I don't know if I can say, but it's probably a 2-pass thing. You rough it in with a 1/4 inch mill or ball mill or something, and then use a 1/8 inch to give you the fine detail, or 16th inch if you've got one.
That's cool.
So it's probably a couple of tool paths.
That's cool. I want to do I told you I do a lot of those flower memorial boxes. I have one coming up that I've kind of put off just because I've just been so busy doing stuff. So we talked about using the laser that does an engraving. I want to do the opposite, make it 3-dimensional with the CNC. So that'd be my first attempt. I told the customer, since I've been kind of dragging, I'll add that. Clack said rough finish profile cut.
3 tool passes. 3 tool paths rather.
Okay.
Oh,
right.
Profile for the cut. Yeah, okay. So it's really only 2. You're gonna cut it out anyway, so we won't count that one.
All right, Clack. I'll give it a shot. See how it looks. So I think I might get more views on the bloopers than if it actually came out good.
Well, of course. People love failure.
2,000 comments to say I suck.
As I said, you got to record and report your first tool bit snap. It may actually happen on Clack's project here.
Yeah. Or
no, if he gave you the CRV file, then you really don't have to do anything.
Yeah, or see my wife come yelling that it's too loud. Roger, we were saying that it's going to be version 2 of my poorly dubbed. What was that? The Adam stack
UPS package.
Yeah.
I forget what you were getting.
That was the little longer. That's what it was.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, I told him to make sure that he records his wife storming down the basement stairs, yelling at him to turn the machine off because it's too loud. The second he does the first cut into a piece of wood.
So we'll see. I guess the first time I turn it on, she'll be at work, so maybe I'll get lucky. but I guess if it's that loud, maybe I won't be able to work till 3 in the morning sometimes,
No, you won't be doing that at 3 in the morning.
No.
Guarantee it.
I like the reassurance, Roger. Like, yeah, no, that ain't happening.
No, when I run mine, it's out in the shop, and it's far away from the house, and even though when I close the doors of the shop, you can still hear it outside.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'll sometimes do a quick job at like 6 o'clock in the morning in my shop, and even though my shop is 100 feet away from my house, my wife will still complain that I'm making too much noise early in the morning.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for letting me know. Oh shit!
Hey,
Look who's in the
geez.
Oh,
building.
look who we got here.
Look who dragged himself out to say hi.
Daniel, the bearded Viking. What's going on, brother? What's going on? Yeah. Salud, Daniel. Roger, you're not drinking today? I thought maybe you'd need a stiff one.
Well, I haven't even done that yet. I just got home, so. But it's on the agenda for tonight.
I started with the tall guy and ending with the short boy. Hello, gentlemen. I hope you all doing excellent.
Yeah, I hope you are too, Daniel.
Yeah.
Doing good, doing good. Good to see you join the live. Let us know when you're ready to jump in as a guest. That'd be cool. Actually, we just hit our time.
Yeah.
8:30. Won't by fast today. Sorry, guys, that if my video quality wasn't the best. Steve, thank you for taking the lead on this one. I don't know what's going on with my internet connection, but make sure to join next week's live. We do have a special guest. I'm really looking forward to it and see what he has to say. Some pointers on CNCs, business tips. He's extremely successful and extremely humble. Ryan from Cutting It Close. So yeah,
Should be fun.
Should be fun. You guys want to say anything on the closeout?
Hopefully by next week I can tell you all about internal 3D engraving.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that, Steve. Make sure if you post the video, post it on our Facebook group. I want to see it.
Yeah, I have to talk to.
I know. I'm saying when you
I have
do.
to talk to
Whenever you're allowed to
Commark
release
when I
the
can actually talk about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
whenever you're
talk about it
whenever you're able to release the content, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing you.
I don't know what they're going to allow me to say. I've already probably said more than they wanted me to, but that's okay.
All right. Well, see you guys next week. Thank you for joining the live.
Yeah,
Take
see
care,
you all
all.
next week.
Yep,
Hopefully we
bye.
see you next week. Yep.